Minnesota Vikings had a great season in 2022 with Kirkua, Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins. Kirko Chains was in full effect, and the Vikings won 13 games. Kirk was very clutch, 4th and 8. Although he played phenomenal that game, and anyone who says otherwise is a liar. The defense lost that game. But Kirk is going to be 35 years young in August, and Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, they need to find their quarterback of the future. Things obviously didn't work out with Kellen Mond, but Kwesi did not draft him. But they need to go get their guy, because also the future of Justin Jefferson is kind of important, and the guy throwing him the football, it's kind of a big-time decision. So getting some clarity on who that's going to be before Jefferson signs his long-term extension is probably going to be really important to him, and therefore it is really important for the Vikings. And even though the Vikings currently not a lot of draft capital. So they have the 23rd overall pick, asset into the first round. And then also they're bereft of a second round pick, and they are projected not to have a 6th or 7th rounder. Although moving up in the draft, those really don't matter. Right? But they need to go get their guy. They do. They need to find the quarterback of the future. If they're sold on a dude, they've already reportedly met with Anthony Richardson. They've already reportedly met with Will Levis, and Kevin O'Connell apparently, reportedly, according to Darren Doogie Wolfson, has a thing for Will Levis. But the Vikings are going to have to move up sky high to go get their dude. And I'm not even talking about just barely into the top 10. I'm talking about top 6 minimum if they want to get their guy that they specifically want. And hell, maybe they're sold on Bryce Young. Maybe they want to move all the way up with the Bears. C.J. Stroud, I think, does have the higher floor of him, Richardson, and Will Levis. And also, I love his attitude. Although him saying they looked up to Mike Vick and Deshaun Watson, I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, if the Vikings are thoroughly convinced, there's a bunch of teams that have quarterback needs. And we listed them with a yellow asterisk here. So the Texans at 2 obviously could and should be in on quarterback. 4, Colts. Should and could be in on quarterback. Probably they're a prime candidate trade up. 7, 8, 9, the Raiders, the Falcons, and the Panthers all could be in need of a quarterback, depending on what happens with Rodgers and the Panthers. So if the Vikings want to go get their guy, and I'm not just talking about 4th out of 4. Like, if they're in love with Levis, if they're in love with Richardson, if they're in love with Stroud or Bryce Young, move up and go get him. And I think the sweet spot is going to be 5 with Seattle, even though Seattle certainly could take a quarterback too. They have 2 first-round picks. This one is from Denver, and Geno had a nice one season, but can he replicate that? Who really knows? So I think that if the right guy falls, right? So I think firmly that the Bears are going to trade down. A team like maybe the Texans swap up one spot so they're not jumped in the line. Maybe the Colts come up a spot. That would make sense. And if the Vikings really want to go get their dude, they may have to go up to 3 and deal Monty Austin for it and the Cardinals. But that's going to cost them because, like we said, the Vikings only have the 23rd overall pick, but they're going to have to be dealing in first rounders in the future. And I know the popular sentiment is going to be, just wait till 2024. The quarterback class is better. Well, you foresee the Vikings having a successful 2023 season, so they're going to be at the asset in the first round yet again. And also, teams also know that they're going to be in on Caleb Williams. They're going to be in on Drake May. Quint Ewers is probably going to be a stud as well. Maybe Bo Nix gets it together. Michael Penix Jr., another year in Seattle. Maybe he gets things done. So there could and should be a run on quarterbacks next year, and we're going to trade to the top 3 again. So, and also it's going to cost more because if they're supposedly better quarterbacks, it would surmise that you would have more demand for more teams trying to get into that derby there. But this year, again, fans can think about the future. Even though Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell certainly have some job security, they got to think of right now. And getting their guy this year starts that clock. And if they wait till next year, that delays that clock of getting their guy. And if they do ride it out with Kirk Cousins on his 1-year deal remaining, having your quarterback of the future on the rooster and having a succession plan for 2024 gives you leverage over Kirk. If you don't want to go forward with him. But again, if you are enamored with Richardson or Stroud or Levis or Bryce Young, you're going to have to move up, and it's going to cost you. So we're talking about the 23rd overall pick and probably 2 first-rounders at minimum to get into the stratosphere if they want to get 5 with Seattle. Theoretically, they could get 6 with Detroit, but they could easily get leapfrogged in that spot, or maybe even all the way up to 3 with Arizona. Or if they're really down to clown, if they really are completely sold, do they dial up the Bears and give the Bears absolutely everything, because the Bears are going to try and gouge the Vikings' eyes out to come up to 1. So I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, if they are sold, if Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah truly believe that one of these guys can be the future franchise quarterback of the Vikings and can form a beautiful battery with Justin Jefferson going forward, and having them sit behind Kirk Cousins for a year can help them be that dude, I'm all for it. And also, if it doesn't go their way, like say trading up costs too much, it goes the same thing with Hendon Hooker and Tanner McKee at the top of day 2, because even though the Vikings, they don't have a second-round pick, making a move up from the third round, giving up some future draft capital, maybe including the future second, to go get Hendon Hooker at the top of the second, or Tanner McKee day 2, if they're deemed the guy who can sit behind Cousins and potentially take over in 2024 as well, all for it. But bottom line is this: stability and a future at the quarterback position is paramount for this franchise going forward. Kevin O'Connell is getting the offense where it needs to be. Kirk Cousins is still effective. How effective can he be as he ages out? Remember, he's going to be 35 next year. And if the Vikings can start the clock on their future franchise quarterback, and if the Vikings can land a project like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, who have basically an unlimited ceiling, do they do that? And if Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell deem that is the smart thing to do, I'm all for it, man. Like, let's make some moves. Let's make some grooves. Let's kick the tires and let the fires, Big Daddy. Let's go get your freaking guy. That's right, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. The Vikings need to go get their quarterback of the future if they want to. That's right. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.